Boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, let's have a casual, chill little episode, answer some of your questions. Let's get straight into it. So Helden Veta says, "Hey Andy, that's so powerful." He was talking about this video here where I said I asked girls that I'm dating, "Why are you seeing me?" to show you guys that there are much more to you, or there is much more to you than just your physical appearance. He says, "So powerful, just get your balls back, be honest, and there's no need for phrases or lines." Thanks for that. Yeah, guys, I lived my life. Let's get big for a second here. I lived my life according to what other people told me that I should say, the fucking pickup lines that I should say, the correct thing to say. You got to do this. You shouldn't do this. You're a beta male if you do this. Make sure you say this line, and that's how you'll get the girl. That was very stressful. It was also very confusing because one person over here would say, "You got to say this pickup line and then you'll get the girl." Then the other guy over here would say, No, that pickup line is wrong. You got to say this line." And all of that shit just left me very fucking confused. And at some point, I put on my little fucking cute hat, fucking rhythm with the tism, and I decided to just be autistically honest. And I decided to just tell women what was on my mind, what was in my heart. "I find you fucking attractive. Would you like to go on a date with me?" Or, "I'm feeling nervous and insecure about this. How are you feeling?" Or, "This is what I want. Do you want the same thing as me?" And then I started embracing that with my business. At first, I thought you had to use all these fucking sales techniques and I had to manipulate you guys and girls and say the right thing and get you to give me money, and I had to like take money from you and try and like fuck around with your brain and play psychological tricks on you and shit without your consent, without fucking telling you. I thought that's what you had to do. I thought you had to be Mr. Wolf of Wall Street and use people to make as much money as you could. And that never sat right with me because that kind of goes against being a life coach, doesn't it? Using people kind of goes against teaching them how to have healthy boundaries. You kind of fuck them up a little bit by using these little techniques on them. And then you have to go in there and undo the damage that you just did by essentially pushing them into signing up for your coaching. So I dropped that shit entirely and I was like, fuck that. What if I just offer a really high value coaching program? And now we technically have two coaching programs, the affordable one, the Abundance Collective, and then my big VIP coaching program. What if I just offer that shit to people and I show them the testimonials and the videos of other clients who've gone through the program and gone, "Holy shit, this changed my life." And I'll just offer that to people. And they either want it or they don't. And if they're not sure, then I can sit down and talk to them and give them some more information and help them make a decision one way or the other. And so, yeah, in business, in dating, in sex, in friendships, in workplace relations, all of that, you're allowed to just drop the bullshit lines, tell the fucking truth, be honest, be authentic, and beautiful things happen. All right, Sadov_5 says, "I'm doing the Approach Anxiety program right now in 2025. I'm on week 6, day 3. And this was on a video where I talked about Good Looking Loser and how his website is down and his YouTube channel. He's deleted most of his videos. And for those of you who don't know, Good Looking Loser, or his name was Chris, had a very, very, very big impact on me and my dating life and helped me be more honest and authentic and screen for the type of women, or for the women that like me, and not worry about the ones that don't. So he had a huge influence on me. And the Approach Anxiety program that Sadov is referring to is like an old program that Good Looking Loser made. That isn't necessarily the program that any of us would recommend anymore. Good Looking Loser himself actually made a video for his channel, which is now, taken down. He's taken down all of his videos. But he made a video on his channel where he literally said, yeah, in 2025, I don't recommend anyone do my Approach Anxiety program. It's too much. It's too long. It's a distraction from actually going out there and talking to women. So, Sadov, you're already in the program. Like, you may as well finish it, dude. Like, you're basically finished at this point anyway. But for new people who are like, how do I learn to go outside and talk to women? I would not recommend his program. What I would recommend is my program. And this is just on my website. If you go to killyourinnerloser.com and just search for Approach Anxiety, and you'll see this Approach Anxiety program. And I think I even have a YouTube video on this on my channel. So just search on my channel for Approach Anxiety. But basically, it's a program that literally anyone can complete. Even if right now you are not capable of even fucking looking at a woman, let alone talking to her, let alone actually saying, can I take you out for a drink or a coffee? You are still capable of working through this program. So I literally, there's a little audio here of me explaining the program. And I made this really nice program here that's super simple. You don't have to be confident. You don't have to know how to talk to women. You don't even have to be able to make eye contact with them. You're just going to go outside and start thinking about hitting on women. And you do that every single day for as many hours as you can every day. Imagine that you're hitting on her. Imagine what you'd say to her. Imagine what she might say back. Imagine the small talk. And you're basically giving yourself exposure therapy. Like imagining talking to a woman at the start is as helpful as actually talking to her. Yes, eventually you want to talk to her, no shit, of course. And I say in here, at any point you're allowed to actually do it. Some of you are going to start this and be like, I can talk to a woman. Great, do it. And so I have steps for you. If you can already start doing this, I have some steps here. But basically, this is simple. Why is it so simple? Because if I make it more complicated than that, you either won't do it or you'll waste weeks and weeks and weeks on stuff that isn't really helping. And so I've drilled this down into the most effective steps. Again, that's on my website, killyourinnerloser.com. Just search for the word approach anxiety, and that is there. But yeah, again, for you, Sadov, dude, at this point where you're at right now in the program, you're on week 6, day 3. You're already able to do really fucking intimidating stuff that the average guy could never even contemplate doing. I would say stop doing the approach anxiety program. Just start talking to women, man. You're capable of it. And as Chris himself said, his approach anxiety program is a procrastination. You're literally procrastinating just hitting on women and saying hello to them. You're not even hitting on them. It doesn't even have to be that intimidating. You're just saying hi. They're just your fellow human beings. You're saying hi. Hi, I thought you were pretty. Are you single? That's it. That's all I ever say. I just walk up to women. Hi, you're super pretty. I wanted to say, hey, are you single? And then I just go from there. I just make a bit of small talk. I'm Andy. What are you up to today? Oh, that's cool. Blah, blah, blah. I'd love to take you out for a coffee or a drink sometime. Would you like that? If she says yes, cool. Like, what's your phone number? Like, that's it. So you don't have to be fancy with this. But yeah, good job getting to week 6, man. That's a lot. You're already way past the point where you're capable of actually talking to women and asking for their phone number. You've gone so far beyond that. Like Chris's approach anxiety program is fucking overkill. It's so overkill. You've gone so far past the point. I promise you're capable right now. You might be nervous, but you're capable of talking to women and asking for a phone number. All right, Timothy McDonald 7942 says, this is really great. And this was on a video about how to be dominant. And I did a little interview, me and 2 other dominants, like 2 of my friends. We talked a little bit about BDSM. We focused a lot on giving lots of love to your submissives, how to have fun with that, all of that. So Timothy says, this is really great. My wife and I are having fun learning how to enjoy BDSM. That's fucking amazing, dude. After a few sessions, I found my space in the soft dom role, which is very much what I am. I like to call myself a daddy dom, or you might call me like a mentor dom or a loving dom. I like to be super gentle. A lot of people have this notion of BDSM that it has to be aggressive and rough and painful and violent and all of that. You can if you want to, but for me, I like people. I think I just like people too much. I don't really want to hurt anyone. I spank. I have lots of spanking implements, and I can be rough and then passionate and all of that. But yeah, I'm much more of a soft dom myself as well. You say, we refer to my role as a pleasure guide rather than a dom. That's me too. And that's what a couple of my friends, so I have a friend, one of my mates, and he calls himself a pleasure dom. And he's like, the thing I like to focus on is giving pleasure to my partner. And me, Andy, what I like to focus on, I sometimes call myself the facilitator. Like, I will find out what someone is into. I will ask them a bunch of questions. We will talk it out. We'll say what they're into, what they're not into, what they want to try, what they don't want to try, all of that. And then I like to facilitate that experience for them. So I like to give. You could also call yourself a giving partner or a giving dom. You're going to say, my plan is to bring her through a building experience. One scene builds onto the other. That sounds amazing, man. That's really cool. And obviously she's your wife. You guys have a lot of trust there, and that's beautiful. Like, I've just found that BDSM, or really you could just call it like kinky sex. Maybe let's get a little more clear about that. Maybe it's more intentional sex. Because that's what a lot of BDSM is. It's like, let's just slow down a little bit and think a little bit more about what we want to do. And yeah, that can involve toys and whips and restraints and all of that, but it doesn't have to. But just like, let's get more clear and intentional about sex. Because a lot of people just like, the dick gets hard, he just shoves it in the vagina. He's like, bam, 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 bam. Oh, I came. Great. Roll over, go to sleep. Like, that's a lot of people's sex life. And I like to be a little more intentional with it. Again, I like to, just like you, my friend, find out what my partner or my wife, I'm not married, but like, a partner or a wife might want, figure out how to give that to them or provide that for them, and then tell them what I want. And then they can give that to me too. And it can be this beautiful, like reciprocal relationship where we both figure out what each other are into. We try some stuff, we experiment. Maybe we find some stuff we love and we do more of that. Maybe we find some stuff that we don't love so much. Cool, at least we tried it. We learned something. It can be this really nice playground. I like to say that BDSM or kink or just sex in general really is like this beautiful playground where you can explore with your partner or partners if you guys are into that. Like you can just try a bunch of different stuff and like you said, like a pleasure guide. But you're doing that for you too. Like you're guiding yourself and maybe she's guiding you as well. You're figuring out what you like, man. And she's figuring out what she likes and you're exploring that space together. So beautiful, man. Like, thank you for sharing this. I really like hearing from people, particularly people that are like already married or already in a long-term relationship. And then they're finding out this shit. Like, what do I like? What does she like? What feels good for her? What feels good for me? Because at the end of the day, my rule with like, or my mindset with sex and life in general really is like, I want to leave people better than I found them. As in, after a play session or after a sex session, I want her to walk away from that. I want her to leave that going like, wow, that was amazing. Like, I feel good about myself. Like, my self-esteem has gone up. I feel more certain about who I am as a person. I feel like we just did a bunch of cool, fun shit. I feel more intimate and close to you. Like, I want people to feel either closer to me or closer to their own body or closer to their own mind or their own heart. Like, I just want them to feel better, whatever the word better might mean for you guys and girls. I want them to leave feeling a little better after every play session. And sometimes that's not like, no, I don't even want to say sometimes that's, maybe if you're like really tired one day and you're just having a bad day, then like, but even then you're still glad you had sex. So yeah, like my mindset is like, I want to try my hardest or do my best to leave everybody better than I found them after every session, including myself, by the way. And all of this applies to, the person who's in that more sort of dominant role or like the leadership role, or they're the ones that are like taking care of the other one. You're looking after yourself as well. So yeah, thank you for sharing this. This was really cool to read. And I'm happy for both of you. Sounds like you both are in this really nice, like trusting, beautiful relationship. You're obviously married. But yeah, like that makes me happy, man. I'm happy for you and I'm happy for her. Ziva Main says, love this way of looking at life, man. And this was on a video called Life is a Video Game. You are the main character. And I basically said, life is allowed to be fun. It doesn't have to be this big fucking hardcore serious thing of like, I have to make enough money. I have to do this. I have to have sex. I have to pay the bills. I have to get laid. I have to have a wife and kids. I have to have a very important job where everyone thinks I'm so cool and interesting and serious. I have to have a good Instagram. I have to make sure everyone fucking appreciates me. I have to make sure I have strong boundaries and no one disrespects me. Like, that can just be a lot of effort, a lot of work. It's very fucking exhausting. You're allowed to just see life as this fun video game. Like, none of us know what we're doing, let's be honest. Nobody handed us an instruction manual when we were born. They were just like, good luck, motherfucker, you're on your own. And you're not on your own, you have people with you. But like, essentially, this is like your life, you're the one living it. Like, you're in your own body, you're in your own mind, you're in your own heart. Like, it is like a single player game with lots of like characters around you who can make you feel a little bit more connected, a little bit less alone. But it's a fucking video game. We don't know what we're fucking doing. We're all just making up a bunch of shit as we go along. Let's be honest. None of you know what the fuck you're doing. You like to pretend that you do sometimes. But I like to be honest and just be like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing, man. I'm just going to have fun. Like, having fun seems to be a nice way to live life. Not taking it that seriously seems to be a nice way to live life. And one of my favorite quotes on this is a quote by Oscar Wilde, famous poet, one of my favorite fucking people. And he said, life is too important to be taken seriously. It's allowed to be a video game. I know lots of people take life very seriously, maybe 99% of the population. And if any of you want to take it seriously, you can. Like, you're allowed to take it as seriously as you want to. I've just found that I like to live life like a fun little video game. You know, it takes all the pressure off me. And funnily enough, when I actually enjoy my life and see it as a video game, I achieve 10 times more. I literally have more money, more sex, more women, more whatever the hell that I say I want. I get more of that when I play life like a video game because I'm having fun. And don't you think you would achieve way more in your life if it was fun rather than if it was a painful fucking grind? And so many people look at like business, especially God, but dating as well, as like this grind and this painful thing. And they're like, I have to hustle, I have to grind, I have to like beat myself up and call myself a pussy and yell at myself and all of that. And it's like, that just sounds awful. That sounds painful. And like, it's effective enough, but it's not as effective as showing up with love and excitement and enjoyment and all of that. And that's, by the way, how we run our coaching programs. It's like, how can we get you to have fun with your life? And then we find our clients just take like literally 10 times more action when they're actually enjoying the thing that they're doing. We'll finish up with a couple more just like quick random questions. Ziva Main says, great conversation, boys. This was on a video we did about our red flags in dating, and spoiler, we have a few interesting ones that you probably wouldn't expect. And we talked a little bit about green flags as in what we're looking for. And Taylor down the bottom says, dude, are you getting more jacked? Looking good. I appreciate that. I'm assuming you're talking about me and not Cam, but I am not getting more jacked. I am losing weight though. And I have been for probably the last year. I've just been on a very, very, very slow weight loss journey. And I'm not doing anything crazy for that. I've lost about like 9 kilograms in the last year. So whatever that is in pounds. I'm just on keto. Like I just eat mostly meat and that's about it. And then I almost accidentally lose weight. So I'm not hardcore trying to lose weight, but it's accidentally happening. But I appreciate the nice comment. That's really nice of you, my friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you. I love reading out your comments. I love answering your questions. If any of you want me to give a better answer to your questions, if you want me to be there for you and be your personal cheerleader and kick your ass into gear, but in a loving, gentle, amazing way, I have 2 options where you can work with me directly. You can either do a once-off coaching call with me, and that's down below in the description, or you can join the Big Hardcore VIP coaching program where we will change your fucking life over the course of 3 months, and then you get to be in our members-only area, our members-only community for the rest of your life. So you're essentially getting fucking coaching for the rest of your life, and you only have to pay once. We also have the more affordable program, the Abundance Collective, which is $200 a month. We have a bunch of guys in there absolutely crushing it with their goals with dating, business, relationships, sex, all of that kind of stuff. All of that is down below as well. You can check that out. There's no monthly contract or anything. You just subscribe, and if you want to leave at some point, you can. You're not locked in. All of that down below. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and crush those goals.